help bridge between those who receive quality care and those who do not. We run outreach programs, connect families to resources, and work with frontline professionals to build the kind of knowledge that leads to real change on the ground. At Hope Up, we do not just talk about impact. We go where it is needed most. We felt it was important to mark this year's Autism Awareness Month with more than a social media post. Autism affects millions of people worldwide, yet many who live and work with individuals on the spectrum still lack the tools and training to offer meaningful support. The gap is not a failure of effort, it is often a failure of access. And this webinar series exists to contribute to bridging that gap. For the period, we are bringing together some of the best minds in autism education, behavioral support. You can expect sessions that are practical, honest, and grounded in real experience. We will cover communication strategies, sensory considerations, classroom and workplace inclusion, peer discussions, and shared reflections, including post-webinar support. This is not a passive experience. We want you to leave each session feeling better equipped than when you arrived. Alongside the webinar, we are offering continuous professional development opportunities for those who work directly with individuals on the spectrum. These are structured, accredited, and built around what practitioners actually need. We understand that your time is limited, so everything has, because learning should feel useful and not like just questions. Who go half of the entire Hope Up team. Welcome to a week of learning, connection, and shared purpose. Let us make the most of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And that was the intro by our CEO, Madam Adelaide Atta Pansa, the CEO for Hope Up Foundation. And so to introduce to you today's speaker, I want to say you are gladly welcome to Module 4 of our Autism Awareness webinar series, a continuous professional development and CPD, right? And this evening, we are going to discuss from awareness to action, celebrating progress and supporting children with autism in our communities. And to do this, there's a wonderful woman who is Salsia Ocloo, known as Salsia Ocloo. She is the founder of Salsia Care Foundation, a Ghanaian-based NGO dedicated to supporting children with special needs and empowering their caregivers through advocacy and education and also community outreach. With a background in economics and experience as a teacher under the Ghana Education Service, Salsia's journey into a special needs advocacy began with a life-changing encounter in the classroom, a moment that continues to share her purpose today. She holds a postgraduate qualification in special education, Master of Philosophy, pending final rival. Through Salsia Cares Foundation, Salsia leads impactful initiatives, including community health screening, caregiver empowerment training, equipping special needs children with skills such as artwork, beading, and modeling under the Ability and Disability Projects and Advocacy Program, such as the Ghana Month Fashion Show, all aimed at promoting inclusion, dignity, and opportunity for every child. For Salsia, Salsia Care Foundation is more than an organization. It is a reflection of her life's calling to serve, uplift, and create the world where everyone matters and everyone belongs. With a virtual clap, as we always do, I want all of us to welcome our facilitator and speaker for today's model, Salsia Ocloo.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
My name is Salsia Ocloo, as mentioned. Welcome to Module 4. I want to begin the conversation with a story. So somewhere last year, a girl was brought to me. She's a teenager with autism. Her mother was confused and didn't know why her child was doing or not doing what she was doing. With guidance, today she's talking. She was not verbal when she came. Today she's verbal. Today she's one of our models at Salsia Cares Foundation. Today she's able to communicate, not meaningful, but she's able to put across what she wants to say in a way that is understandable. This brings us to why we are here today. We want to talk about this. This is not a lecture. So it's a conversation, and I'm going to tell you what I know. At the end of it, you let me know what you know as well and what questions you have to ask about what I know. Celebrating progress and supporting individuals with autism in our communities. Most people are aware of autism. If you weren't, today is day 4, and from day 1, speakers have spoken about autism, what it is, and all that. So now you know. But after awareness, what's next? When you know that your child is autistic, when you understand that your learner has autism, what's next? You need to understand what it is, what the whole condition is. With understanding, that is the only way you can make the right decisions and translate them into action. So today we are looking at from awareness to action. After we are aware, what do we do? Let's say, for instance, a child in a community is screaming, covering their ears, closing their eyes, hitting their heads on the wall, because the mother brought him to a function in the community. People start saying, hold your child. You people don't train their children at home, and when they come out, it is evident on them. People are aware. I'm sure from that group of people who would say that to the parents are aware there's a condition called autism. But do they understand what it is? Do they understand how it presents itself so that when they see a child behaving in a certain way, they can be considerate? Another example is you see a child who is crying about everything. The child is being given toys, no. Whatever they are looking at might not be what they want, but that is what we give to them, because our understanding of raising children is if they cannot talk, they look at what they want and you get it for them. Sometimes these children are crying, shouting, throwing tantrums because the sensory overload. Do you understand? From our awareness, we are looking at understanding. After you've understood what the child is going through, What do you need to do? As a mother, you have understood what the child is going through. Like the Bible said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all other things will be added unto you. It's the same way with managing children who are neurodiverse. You need to seek ye first understanding, and every other thing will come to you. The moment you understand why the child is behaving the way they are behaving, then you can support them the right way. Just yesterday, I had a call from one of my caregivers. Her husband, ex-husband, because he left her because of the child she has now. He is calling for them to go for a ritual that will tell them why the child is the way she is. Misunderstanding is leading to wrong action. With proper understanding, the right action will be taken. If he understands correctly what the condition is about, he wouldn't be going to a shrine or to a ritualist, but then he will be looking for therapists who would take care of the child, who would support and give the interventions that will lead to progress. Progress. What does progress mean to all of us or some of us? We want to see the child move from kindergarten 1 to kindergarten 2 by the end of 3 academic terms. We want the child to progress from sitting to crawling to walking and then to running. That may mean progress to most of us. But to neurodiverse children, especially those on the spectrum, progress might look different. Progress might be slow. Progress might look insignificant. For instance, a child that is in diaper, you're trying to take that child off diaper. In this case, the child has autism. So probably is a toddler or an adult that is now learning potty. You start by teaching them, and in a day or two, or probably weeks or months, they understand that this is the washroom. So when I want to use the washroom, I go here. The child goes there and sits with their clothes on to pee. That is progress. But I don't think that most of us understand that to be progress. For an autistic child to be able to pick what you are trying to say about this is a washroom, when you feel pressed, go here, is a lot of information for them to process. And the moment they're able to process and get it, it is something worth celebrating. You are supposed to cheer them. Wow, you entered the washroom today. That's so great. But you need to take this off. And they'll look at you like, huh? Yes. And taking it off might take a few more days. But that first step they took to go to the washroom is progress. In the case of the child I spoke about from the beginning, she doesn't speak at all. Now she's able to just call out my name, Madam, and wave at me. That is progress. She might not have said anything, but now when she sees me, she can tell anybody around that she knows. When she sees me, she knows how to connect with me by just mentioning my name. She might not say anything, but I understand that she has progressed from being mute to speaking. And that is progress. Let's celebrate it with kind words, with gestures, that's something they like. If you're able to do this, I am going to get you this. If you're able to do this, I'm going to get, and it will help. Some people want to see progress in a day or two. It doesn't work like that for all of the children on the spectrum. Even though they all might have autism, all of them respond to things differently. Have you asked yourself why some of them know things that you have not taught them? They just know them because that is how they are wired. Others, you would teach and they would not get it. Others, you just say it once and they pick it up, or they see it and they pick it up. We need to understand the condition and then celebrate their progress, no matter how little it is. Now, Building their confidence. How do you do it? You need to make it consistent. So as you are praising them, you are celebrating the process, the progress they are making. Should it be something you do one day and stop? I've been teaching him to wear the diaper, to take off the diaper and go to the washroom, and he's not getting it. So there's this mother who I recommended speech therapy for. She went for speech therapy, and after about 3 months, she came back and she was like, "Madam, we cannot do it again. No. Sorry if you don't understand tree." But she says that anytime they go for the therapy, they leave with the assignments for her to go and continue saying ma with the child, and it's stressful. She's tired. With these kids, you do not expect to say ma 3 times for them to pick up, or say sit 2 times for them to pick up. It's about consistency. Just last month, in April, I saw a white lady who was speaking well. And when I listened to her speak, she's actually on the spectrum, and she's been going for speech therapy for 22 years of her life. And she's 28 years old. 22 years of speech therapy is not a joke, but it has yielded results. And that is what we talk about consistency. We need to be consistent with whatever we are teaching them. Whatever you want them to know, you need to be consistent with it. Then you need to be intentional. If you want them to know this, you have to find every way possible to make them know it. You don't expect them to know it because you want them to know it. No. You have to be intentional about how you want them to know it. And that is why the understanding is important. If you've understood the child and you know that it is this that brings this reaction, it is this that brings whatever, how they respond to things, then you know how to approach them. Speaker 2 on Tuesday was talking about, I realized how intentional she was about supporting her child. And intentionality is everything. You go for therapy, you are told to use visual aids. When they are on the wall and you don't consistently take the child, or you are not intentional about timing how many times in a day you want to show the child those visual aids for them to be able to follow a certain routine. If you are not intentional about sticking to time, because these kids are kind of repetitive in action. So they know that this is how I do my things, and it's supposed to be like that forever. So if the child knows that they wake up at 6, and then they brush at 7, and then they eat at 8, and then they have to take a nap at 12, all that routine, you as a parent or a caregiver is supposed to be intentional about setting alarms on your phone and being available to help them with those routines. Everything they need, you have to be intentional about giving it to them. Giving the support to them should be intentional. If you are intentional about it, you should not get tired along the line. If you are intentional about getting your child to speak and you've not put time on it, you shouldn't get tired about it. We need to also not expect too much from them. If they realize that you expect them to be able to talk, run, sit, write, read, it becomes overwhelming. So they just break down and they don't do anything at all. There are some kids in the house that probably have not been diagnosed with autism, but you realize that when you give them instruction, and it is about 2 or 3 instructions in one sentence, they go and they mess up. Everyone's mind is processing things differently, especially for someone on the spectrum whose brain is just processing things very differently from the way typical brains are processing things. You need to break tasks down for them. You need to not expect them to be able to just go to the washroom, remove their pants and pee in the closet at once. You need to expect progress in bits. It will come, but do not expect too much. In the same way, do not expect too little from them. If you undermine their ability, it also puts stress on them. It makes them feel overwhelmed. They cannot communicate their feelings to you. They do not know exactly how to tell you that, stop it, this is too much. For some of them are vocal, they are verbal, and then they can say some things. Sometimes they just shut down and they do not want to speak at all. But then do not load them and do not underestimate them. Just give them all the support in the world. Whatever is within your means to get it for them, and then help them to thrive. There's a difference between pampering and supporting. Let's not confuse it. Most children on the spectrum are being over-pampered. When support is being given, the way the mother sees the support, sometimes it feels like, no, why will I let him go through all that? For what exactly? If you want the child to thrive, you need to support them, not pamper them. Supporting is very distinct from pampering. I don't know if I am making sense, but when the child is able to do something you do not even know the child could do, then you see the child attempting it. Instead of just getting worked up all of a sudden and stop. You're going to hurt yourself. Let them try it out. If it works, then you have seen something else they are capable of doing. If you do not let them explore, it will be very difficult for you to support what they can do. Because here we are not focusing on what they cannot do. And you cannot know everything that they can or cannot do, because the child is even unable to express themselves to you. How then are you able to understand everything within them? Let them explore. Let them take risks. They are human beings. If a typical child is climbing a chair to jump, you would say, Kofi, you be proud. I mean, you tell him, Kofi, you will get hurt. But you will not quickly go and then pick Kofi up and rush and put. That will not come with a typical child. But the moment the child is neurodivergent or neurodiverse, then we start being too careful, the pampering becomes so much that they are not able to even unleash their own potentials. Some of the children here came and they just sit like this and be looking at you whilst everything happens. I always put them to task just to be sure which one is something you can do and which one is difficult for you, so we help you with it, and which one is not within your ability at all, so that we do not put pressure. So we are arranging chairs. I'm like, hello, could you please get the chair over there? The mother is like, no, if you say anything, he doesn't understand. I am adding gestures to speech and then telling the child. So I just say, Mommy, please, can you stay out of this? So please get me the chair over there. And the child starts going. Then they see me following the child to where the chair is. Because you do not leave them unprotected. But then you do it in a way that supports them rather than pampering them. So the child is going, I am right behind the person to the chair. Then when we get to the chair and the child is passing by, I say, this is the chair we are picking up. Oh, they pick it up. And then I follow them again. When we get to where to drop it, they drop it. I do that like twice. And the third time you tell the child to go and bring this chair and bring it here, they go and come. And they're like, hey, know that he could hear me when I speak. I didn't know he was understanding, because we are not allowing them to explore. So please, if you are here today, please support the children instead of pampering them. Finally, I want to say that awareness has become more like a generic term where everybody is talking about awareness, advocacy, but then action is missing. And action is not just when we go on walks for advocacy walks or awareness walks, or when we all team up and go to the minister's office, or when it's there, but that is not the only way to show action. Action is in what we do. Action is in everything you are doing at home. After you are aware that your child is so and so, are you sitting down and waiting for an opportunity for people to say they are dashing things to people who are not normal? Then you carry the child and go and take that support. And then you come back home and then you still sit and know that your child has autism, and then you are just there. Or are you getting up looking for those therapists who could help your child? I know, because I work with caregivers, I work with these children, and I know that therapy or support is not cheap. Yes, it isn't. But there's people like us exist, and so it is free somewhere. I offer all my services to all the children and the caregivers I work with for free. And so if you have not gotten up to take an action, you will not know where your solution would come from. Thank you very much.
Wow. This is absolutely a fantastic punch line there. I like the fact that you are more practical about the whole thing and how the whole thing should look like. At this point in time, if you have any question to ask Madam Salsia, she works with every children. Okay, she really wants to take your input. Yeah, that is why she's made her presentation just as brief as possible, so she can take a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And so, if you want any clarification, okay, sure, madam, go ahead.
Yes. So the whole presentation was brief because I told you it's not a lecture. It's actually a conversation. And if I talk all the time, I don't know when you can come in and talk. So I've said my piece. I would like to hear from all of us that are present here today.
Fantastic. That's great. And so please, as you said, it's an interactive session. Okay. And she's made it well spelled out. And so please, if you have any question you want Madam Salsia to address, kindly show by hand using the icon, and then she's going to help you with it. All right. So if you also want to chat in the chat room, please do so, and then I'll read it out for you as well. Yeah. So fast forward, Madam Salsia, this one, how can somebody who has a child on the spectrum, or probably maybe a child with any other differences, be supported, aside looking at the fact that they need to get an extra support from the government or from NGOs, okay? And also the person that has a child is not actually financially sound. How can that person support in the little domestic way? Can you elaborate more on that?
Today we are privy to the internet.
Right.
I'm not saying everything on the internet is true, but then you can just double check. And mostly when you go to therapists, they would give you assignments to do at home. When you follow these things, whether or not you are seeing them continuously, if you continue doing whatever intervention they were giving to the child at home, and this is something that is lacking among our caregivers or our parents, they seem too busy, and then suddenly they have an autistic child, and then suddenly they need to support that child. It's not just about going to the hospital, it's about coming back home and practicing whatever was being given to the child or we are doing to the child. So you come home, you have visual aids. When you come to us, you see that we use pictures to communicate with them. When you go home, you do the same thing. You check on the internet, you see, you can Google how to support a child with autism. Sometimes you need to give specifics because, like I said in my presentation, autism doesn't present in one form. There are various forms. You see 10 people have autism, but one is sensitive to light, Others they have texture problems with eating. Others are hyperactive. Others, it depends on how the child is presenting it. So you can be a bit detailed in your question to AI or Google, and then you have ways to help. Some of us are available. It's not just me. A whole lot of professionals are out there who have devoted their time and energy because we know that it is expensive. And so if you fall under the less privileged and then you are unable to go for formal therapy, you can just call us. We give you one or two things and you do them. That is the underlined word, doing them at home. It is not supporting the children with therapy is not only the job of the therapist. When you go home, you have a lot to do as well to make sure that consistency is there for the child.
Thank you very much, Madam Salsia. All right, we have a hand up. Bono, I don't know if I mentioned it right. Bono, yes, please. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I am Judo Bonner, and I'm from Liberia. I have a child on the spectrum. He's 8 years old now. He was diagnosed at the age of 4. And when he was diagnosed, at the time, I didn't know anything about autism. And unfortunately, in Liberia, there were no services. There was no information around autism. And so most of the things that I learned about how to support him, I had to get from the internet. Now, coming to my question, if I'm in a space where there are no services, right? So I hear you talking about therapy. I hear you talking about free services and all that. Now that I live in an environment where there are no professional services and all that, right? How do I support my son other than just going to the internet? So, like for me, I like reading a lot. So, I've learned a lot of things through reading. And, like, for instance, he's nonverbal. Recently, I got some of these cards, but I've tried using the cards and it has proven like really difficult because maybe I don't even know how or the right way to use the communication cards and all that. And I can't really find help to move forward with that. Because of my experience with my child, I have also started an organization, and currently we're just doing something as simple as creating awareness around autism because in Liberia, a lot of people don't even know what autism is. It's not even being talked about in any room, and nobody's saying anything about autism. And so currently my organization is only creating awareness. Now, here we're talking about moving from awareness to action. Some of the challenges that I've seen as an organization is that when we go to communities to create awareness, a lot of people hide their children. So they don't want to associate their children with the condition. So you explain to them what the symptoms are, and you see people in the community telling you that okay, this child has those symptoms, and the parents are driving you away, telling you no, my child doesn't have those symptoms, and they still attributing it to witchcraft and all those things. And so even as you try to help, right, they do not want your help. So as a parent, how do I get help for my child in a society where there is no help? And as an advocate, how do I reach out to other parents so that they are able to help their children in the space as well?
Thank you. Mr. David, can I take it or I should take another one?
Please go ahead and take it. Yeah.
All right. So, Ms. Bono, I'm sorry that your community is not supportive enough, but I'm sure that as you are online, you must have heard of groups of mothers or caregivers of special needs children. You could come together with them, talk about, even though the children are different, but someone's experience might shape yours. Again, I would say that for your child's how to support your child at home. If you could reach out to me so that we have a clear plan. I understand the condition. Like I said, autism is not a one symptom presentation something. So it's difficult for you to give guidance without understanding the child you are dealing with. So if you could just send me a hi on LinkedIn or Instagram, I would take it from there, and then we would see how you can support your child at home. And for an advocate trying to let people understand what it is, I think that for me, I realized that just talking about it, people didn't want to listen. So I turned the whole thing into activities. So you see the children that I have children with autism, I have some with cerebral palsy, I have others who have Down syndrome, I have some who have physical disabilities, so they are in wheelchair or they are using crutches, or you see their limbs bent or something. But I bring them to the community and they show what they can do. People know them as, quote unquote, the abnormal child. Then I take the abnormal child, shape the child, and present it back to the society. And they see what the child can do instead of what the child cannot do. So I started with that's the Ability in Disability Project, where we are showing the world or the communities around us the ability that these children with disabilities have. Just saying it didn't mean anything to them. But when they saw the children making beats, then they saw their artworks, because we did exhibition, and they saw their artworks, they saw the key holders they had made from beads, they saw their chains, they saw the waist beads, they saw the earrings, they saw everything the children had made. And we make sure we video the process. So we have when they started, how it's going, and the results. So it is evidence that it is the child that did it himself or herself. And then you show it to them. This is evidence that these children are not useless. So if you have one, bring the child out and let's work together to make the child a useful person in the community. Now I have about 30 of these children, because people are now, okay, I saw what these people did. My auntie had one. Meanwhile, previously, nobody was talking about whether they had a child in the room or not. They were not doing it. But now they are seeing, now my kids model. They model at events. And so people are calling me, I'm at Kasua. I want my child to also model. The child likes modeling, but we are always indoors. People in the community of that child do not even know the mother has that child. But with our works, showing them evidence of support, they are coming around. They're coming around, they are bringing the children, we are supporting them, and we are getting medical help for some of them. One of the children that was brought to me had nothing to do with autism. She simply had a mental condition that was associated with cares and something somebody gave her on her first birthday, and since then she's not been normal and all that. So we send them to the hospital, and now she's with the mental department and she's being taken care of. So people are bringing their kids out, not because we continue talking, but because we showed them results of whatever we were saying. So Miss Bono, if this answers your question.
Right.
Mr.
Great.
There's someone in the chat who wanted to say something.
Okay. So the person can show by hand. If you want to go voice, you can show by hand, and I'm going to unmute you. But then if you want to type to...
That was the input I wanted to give. Mr. Kojo, please, are you okay now? You still want to say something? Mr. David, we can go on.
Right.
There are
So,
questions in the chat.
Madam Amina, your hand was up. I don't know if it's still up or you've taken it down. Madam Amina, your hand was up. Do you have any question for Salsia? Oh, she's off. I think her hand was up previously. All right, so keep your questions coming. And also,
There's a question from one evangelist.
Please take that.
He's asking, can an advocate initiative be registered as an NGO? If you want to register it, please, you can. And also to the fathers and mothers out there that are running from their marriages because of the autistic children, will you recommend a counseling session for such person after all this has been done to make him or her understand the differences? Yes. If the counselor is also well informed about autism, that is how the counselor can help. So yes, we could take the parents through education, understanding the child's condition, and highlighting how the child could be helped to thrive. Then we see some people have their minds made up because of cultural beliefs, because of everything they want to believe, except learning. So those that can be helped, yes, they can be helped with counseling. Can you kindly please explain your insights on how to use the strength to support their weaknesses? So your child doesn't speak, but then you see that every time they have access to anything ink, whether it's a crayon or a pencil or a marker, you see that they are scribbling, or some people even make meaningful artworks. They draw things that you see and you know that this is a car, this is a motorbike, this is an airplane. And so these are things that is inside the child's head that he's not able to verbalize. In this case, the child's weakness is not being able to speak, but their strength lies in what they can do with their hands. You can build on that skill, that painting thing, and also you use, as he's able to draw things, you use that to teach him how to communicate. So what do you want? You have a picture range from cup of water to, so he's crying, he's showing signs of discomfort. And then you have a whole range of pictures, things you have at home that you want to give. So you show them to them. Is it this cup that you want, a cup of water? No. You look at, you read facial expressions. You want a cup of water? No. You want a bowl of rice? No. You want to use the washroom? No. You want, when the child sees the one that is what they want, they will quickly either pull it from your hands or they would give a reaction that tells you this is it. So as the child is able to draw, now you put papers or whatever it is available for the child. When they are throwing tantrums or they are showing you an emotional meltdown, just give it to them. Put what you want here. Except an autistic child is deaf, whatever you say, they hear you. So even though they are not speaking back to you, they do hear what you are saying. So you tell the child, write what you want here or draw what you want here, and the child will draw it for you. So in this case, that weakness of not speaking, you have measured on his strength, which is probably painting, to be able to communicate with the child. Speaking is not the only form of communication. Communication can happen in so many ways. You can sign it, you can act it out, as in not formal sign language, but then using gestures, or you can point at them. And that is communication. When I was teaching children who had CP, I was teaching cerebral palsy and autistic children at Winneba. Most of these children didn't have speech. All they had were sounds they were making. And so I learned to understand what each sound means. So if the child is excited, I know what it means. There was one child that anytime she falls off a chair, you know that she's excited. She gets so excited, she falls off the chair she's sitting on. So that is how I learned how to understand their individual ways of communication. And I used it to teach them. Before I left, they could show me their body parts. they could, when I write A to G on cat and show them, I line them up, which one is G? You see a child with CP, they are jerky and all, but the child is able to try, even if it is with the legs, to hit A and throw it away. And that is A, and that is their answer. And that is a good job. So that is how you can turn their weaknesses into strength. You can capitalize on their strengths to overshadow or help them with their weakness. I hope this answers the person's question. I didn't take notes of the name.
Great, fantastic. Mina, if you are still there, you can go ahead with the question, Mina.
Yeah, hello, good evening. Please, can you hear me?
Yes,
Go ahead.
So I wanted to add to what Ms. Salsia has said, and the question, David, you first asked, and I think with what our dear sister also asked, what I want to say is, let's try as parents, as caregivers, as therapists, let's try to get to know our children on our own. Why am I saying this? I once handled a child where you call the mom asking for an information, and the mom is directing you to a nanny. Ask the nanny. The nanny knows everything about him. For me, I don't know. I can't best tell and all that. I know we are very busy, but how can we support children if, assuming there's no internet, assuming there's no social media, assuming there's no therapist, how are we going to support them as parents, as individuals? Let's spend time to get to know our children very well. Just like Miss Celsia said, they are all different and their needs are different. If you don't spend time getting to know your child for who he or she is and the support or intervention they will need, you end up listening to a parent or you end up listening to somebody. And you might think that intervention the person is using on his or her child is going to work for you. And you will do it for years. And it won't just work. And Miss Celsia also mentioned something about pampering and pampering and I think over pampering and something. What I want to also say is that to add up to what Miss Celsia said, if care is not taken and you have 2 children or 3 kids and there's only one on the spectrum and you over pamper the child, the other ones might grow up thinking for mommy, for daddy, they love this person and not me. That's some challenges we also face when we go to, especially the classrooms, to help those who are on the spectrum. At a point, the student gets to, they tend to ask you, Miss Mina, why do you like this person that much? Why is it that when you come to class, you're always with this person? And with time, you see that the others will start coming to you and be pushing the children away. So let's be careful with the over pampering. They are just human beings like us. So the way we treat their siblings, let's also treat them the same way. Put them on a strict routine, just like Miss Celsia said. And also, let's try to get to know our children who are on the spectrum for who they are. Imagine there's no social media and other things. How are we going to help them? Are they just going to be there? No. So let's try to get to know them very well. Study them. Just like you study your partner, somebody will say, oh, for my partner, he likes this, she likes this, Let's also make time to study our children who are also on the spectrum. Thank you so much. This is the little I wanted to add up to what Miss Salsia has said already.
Thank you very much, Madam Mina. All right, so I can read from the chat room that people want to share their comments. Please, if you want to share your comments, kindly show your hand using the hand icon, okay, so that at least it can pop up here. Do not show your hand in the chat room, okay? Show your hand in the using the raised hand icon, so I can see you here and unmute you. Mr. Kojo, you wanted to talk. I can see you now, but I don't know if you still want to talk. You are unmuted. Please, you can go ahead, Mr. Kojo.
Hello, good evening to you all. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go
Yes,
ahead.
please.
Okay, I think for the lady who said she's finding difficulty with bringing other parents on board and all that in a community where you don't have that. Luckily we have community heads. So sometimes when you try individually and you see that the result isn't coming as you expect, even though what you want to do is, voluntary, you can go to the community head and then educate the community head. So sometimes when there's a leader involved, let's say someone in the community that people listen to, when the person talks, you see the people who are reluctant to know, oh, if this man has said or this woman has said this about this, and it means it's something I can now come out openly to partake in. In Ghana, we have local government, so for your place, I don't know, but you can go to the community heads and the chiefs, maybe your pastor, the imam, the church. These are leaders that people listen to. Now, when you go there, you go with them with the materials to educate those heads so that once those heads are in line with what you are trying to do, and they join you to speak to the people, they will also accept and then come out with their children for you to, carry out whatever you want to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Great. I think Madam Rosemary, your hand is up.
Mr. David, please, can I read this question and answer before? It's been in the chat for a while.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
The person is asking, is there any age limit to a child's reformation after the child has been left dormant over years? Mostly it's difficult, but it's doable. It's doable. It's just a bit difficult. So we have something we call milestones. Once a child passes the milestones for doing certain specific things in their lives, it becomes a bit challenging to get them to do it. That is like going back in time. But then with consistency and the necessary support, I think that they will be able to do them. It might take longer than when they were supposed to get that, but it's not impossible. It is doable. Mr. David, please, you can take over.
Right. All right, sure. Thank you very much, Madam Salsia. All right, so Madam Rosemary, I don't know if you still want to talk. Your hand was up. Are you still there, Madam Rosemary? If you don't show your hand using the hand up icon, it wouldn't pop up here. So please, if you want to show, if you want to contribute to any question or any suggestions, please do well to show up your hand icon. Now I have to scroll down looking for Madam Rosemary. Madam Rosemary, please, you have the floor. You can now speak.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Please, I have a concern which I wanted a help from you how to talk with a parent. I have a learner who is an autism child and also not verbal. He doesn't talk. He only makes noise and then throws tantrum when he feels like you want to help him and he feels doesn't want that help, then start to throw tantrum. When he came earlier on,
Not to interrupt you, but how did you know the child has autism? Well, did the child come with a diagnosis?
yeah, he came and even everything about him is shown. The dad confirmed it, like he confirmed it, but he was asked to take him to a therapy. But I know it's very expensive though, so he's like he wants to do it himself at home, like help him at home. But when he came, he wasn't talking. When you ask him to hold something, like he doesn't even want to touch anything with the hand. Even if you want him to scribble, hold crayon, or use the play doh just to play or to mold something, he doesn't even want the hand to touch anything. But when he came gradually with like when he's doing it, I hold a hand to do it together with him. And then when you ask him to take something, when you say the first word, he will act on it. When you say, oh, take it from me with your hand, like the gesture is just the way you say, he was picking it up gradually. And he likes to play, like he likes to be free. He doesn't want you to hold him to sit for long. So when he comes, he likes to run around the compound. But the dad too doesn't want him to do that. It's like he said we should treat him the way the normal children are. Like when we ask people, the others, to sit down, we should also let him sit. But he's that type to who doesn't want to sit quietly, like he wants to be moving around. And anytime the dad comes and maybe the boy plays and like the uniform is dirty, he's always complaining. Even if he sees Play-Doh on the uniform, he will complain. When
The dad,
maybe the dad, every little this thing he sees on the boy, he has to complain and then get furious. And it's like he came this term, this third term, and then just the second week, he has stopped coming. So I asked the dad, where is he? He said, oh, he's fine, he's fine. Just for me to know just this week that the dad said he wants to take care of him in the house, so he has stopped schooling. And I don't know how to talk with this man because the boy was picking up a bit. When you talk to him with the gestures, or pick this, because he doesn't talk. The talking is the speech. He has a speech delay and he doesn't talk. But with the gestures, he's able to identify certain things, be able to do certain things in class. But with the dad's complaint and everything, I I heard he said he wants to do the teaching and whatever himself at home. So the boy has stopped. And I want help to talk with the dad because I could see that mingling with the children too have accepted him and they always try to play along with him so that they like to worry him so that he will also talk or something. And he is also happy when he is with them. But the dad making him sit at home now, it's been a worry to me. So I just need a way to like give me some way, like something to tell the dad so that if you bring him back, so that he does that. So that's my plea.
so Miss
So,
Rosemary, is your
yes,
school a public school?
not a public school. It's a private school.
It's a private school, but it's an inclusive school.
Yes, it's an inclusive one.
Okay. So you know what we call line of authority. So you have identified this child in your classroom. I always advise teachers that it is not in your place to go directly to a parent. You might get problems. I'm sure if your school owner finds out, even if I tell you how to handle this man and you go directly to handle him and he comes back to report you in the school, you'll be in trouble. So it's always good that you report the issue to your head. There are special education coordinators in various districts where then they work for both public and private schools. So your head reports the special needs coordinator, and then it is within their uh, job description. So actually call these parents and explain whatever the father is doing. All I see is lack of understanding. He's been told that the child has autism, yes. So he's aware. But then he does not understand what it means to have autism. He does not understand what it means to support a child that has autism. And so he needs a professional to sit him down, explain things to him, show him progress, because you saw progress. With the intervention you put in place, there was progress. If the dad is aware of how far you are coming with the support you are giving informally, and then he takes up a formal support, you would see change, a bigger change in the child. So if you can, tell your head, let the head tell the special education coordinator, and the teacher will be called. The father would be called, and then things will be explained to him, so you don't get into trouble.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Our
so
time is
much.
almost gone. I think there's one hand up. Mr. Nee, I don't know if you still want to talk. You can go ahead if you still want to talk. Nee, Anyete, or Kojima. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, so um, I have cerebral palsy though. So what I want to tell you guys is that so I'll be talking on behalf of all disabilities today. So what happened? Well, let me give you an example. My dad is a typical example of a good parent. Actually, my parents, both of them. So they allowed me to do whatever I want to do as a child. You get it? And then what happened is that so I'm I'm now a man now, and then yes, I went to. I don't think parents should send their child. My advice to parents with special needs children is that never send your child to a special school. One, because even a normal child, when you put them into, let me say, a bad environment, they adapt to the system. Do you, do you understand? So I don't think that you should send your child to um, uh, a special school like that because they adapt to the environment. Me, what I think is that special schools shouldn't exist in our modern day. That's what they're supposed to be inclusive school. You get it? When they grow up, then you can send them to rehab or whatever. And then they are supposed to live with a typical children, a typical child. They adapt to the environment, so they shouldn't be specialized. Like they should do whatever they want to do. Uh, Even back in the days in the early 90s when I was born, there was no education. There was no education. So what happened is that nobody knew what to do. And then they had to use uh, the little knowledge they had. They had to apply what the doctors told them to do and all that. So yes, that is what makes them grow into the environment. That is what makes them to see what is going on in the environment and everything around them. So you tell them that, oh, um, put it here. They can tell you that it's the wrong place. Don't put it there. Yes, that is it. So my advice to parents is that don't put your child into a special school unless they grow up, and then don't mind any teacher that tells you that send the child to a special school. Yes, don't mind any teacher. My teacher told my dad that, and then my doctor, my pediatrician, sent a letter warning them that they should take me back, or else he will sue them. Do you get it?
Right.
So
It's like
yes,
we are afraid to sue. It's like we are afraid to sue people that go against. Yeah, it's like we are afraid to sue them. So I think if one person tries it, they won't do that. So that's my advice and the little knowledge I have with my experience. Thank you very
Right.
much.
Thank you
thank
very much,
you.
Nee.
Mr. David, please, can I say something before you come in?
Go ahead, go ahead.
So, Mr. Nim, I am also for your argument. I believe that it is better to include these children, let them mingle with the typical kids, and it will help them adapt. But then there are some that are at the profound stage. You know, we have grades to it. So if someone is at profound and you insist on letting the child be in an inclusive setting, you are exposing the other kids to harm sometimes. But some of them are at profound, they have behavior, like very bad behavior, behaviors that are harmful, in fact, can lead to death sometimes. So in that case, because when we advocate and say send them to inclusive schools all the time and do not let them go to special schools, parents who have children who are profound would want to practice same because we said so. And then in the end, the result is not as we expect because what they have is not what every other child has. And someone is asking, from what you are saying, what's the difference between a special school and inclusive school? So a special school is where only the child with the condition, his kind of people, so only children with that condition are. So like a school for the blind, like a school for the deaf, like an autistic school for only children with autism, that kind of thing is a special school. But an inclusive school is where we have both the ones with and without disabilities mingle and learn together in the same classrooms. So David.
Right. Okay, thank you very much. And so to set it right, Mr. Ni Aiti is a wonderful personality. You can check him up online. Yes, he's doing a great job. Yes, he is a remarkable Ghanaian with cerebral palsy who has not allowed his situation to define him. Rather, he has decided to dedicate his life to help others with similar condition. Ni is a social worker who supports individuals with disability through his foundation, Popo Cerebral Palsy Initiative. His compassion extends beyond supporting persons with disability. He occasionally takes to the street to support the vulnerable with food and water. You can check up Mr. Nee on social media, Ghana Web, everywhere. He is known for wonderful job. Mr. Nee, thank you very much for your contribution as well. He's bringing us
You're
real
welcome.
contribution.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much, sir. Right. Zenobia, your hand was up. You can go ahead. Then I'll take Samson and then we can wrap up. Zenobia, you can go ahead, please. Zenobia, yeah. Zenobia, you wanted to talk? If not, let me pick up Samson. I don't know.
Is also a remarkable person. He also has CP, but he's doing amazing in his space. He's a tech person.
Right. Fantastic. Madam Zenobia, it gets very difficult if you don't show up using your hand icon. Yeah, you have to skip through to find you and unmute you. For the meantime, I saw Mr. Samson or voice Samsung. Your hand was up previously. I don't know whether it's down now. Can you show it up again so that I can easily locate you and unmute you? I don't know if you want to still talk. Yes. Although our time is fast spent, but Madam Salsia has time for all of us. Yes. She came for us today. Yeah. And so she will take all your questions before she leaves. So Madam Zenobia, yeah, Samson, your hand is up. Right. Samson, please, you have the floor. Please go ahead and unmute yourself, Samson. Please go ahead and unmute yourself, Samson.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good evening, sir. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to add on with what Eniko said, and then some aspects from Madam Salsia. I am a person with cerebral palsy myself, and I had the support from my parents. I quite remember as early as 14, 15 years, I had a motorbike that was bought for me from my dad. And a lot of parents and people said that it was a suicide mission. Over 10 years, I've been riding, and I'm currently using my 6 motor that I bought last year. What I'm trying to talk about is, as Madam Salsia said, if you put a limitation to what individuals with disabilities can do, it becomes very difficult to really realize their capabilities. Yes, my mom wasn't happy with the idea at all. And later, she came to the realization to accept it. It doesn't mean that I don't have jerky movement. It doesn't mean that my cerebral palsy has stopped, but it has also shaped the way I think of myself, my confidence, and now how I live and do things. So the issue of the pampering is really a blow to individuals with disabilities, either autism or cerebral palsy or whatever it is.
Thank you
But
very much.
knowing how to balance both of them, you don't do too much on that. So I just wanted to add my voice in that so that all will know that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sampson. Thank you very much for that wonderful insight. Great. Madam Salsia, we want to comment on that before we take another one.
No, these people are sharing lived experiences. So
Exactly.
this is all we need to learn. People who
Yeah.
have been through it and they are here with us. Someone with cerebral palsy, even though he has his facial construction is not like you and I, he's speaking because his parents believed in him. So I don't see why you have a child and you cannot believe in the child, and then you put a limitation to what the child can do. We shouldn't listen to society. When you succumb to society's pressure, you would regret some things that you did not do previously.
Right. Fantastic. I don't know if Madam Zenobia still wants to talk. Madam Zenobia, if you are still here and you still want to talk. Okay, Mr. Francis. Mr. Francis, Francis Oposu. You can go ahead, sir. The last person to Madam Zenobia, then we can wrap up. Mr. Francis, please go ahead. Good evening, sir. Mr. Francis, I think your network is not being stable here. I don't know whether it's only my end, but Salsia, can you also hear that?
Yeah, I'm struggling to hear him.
Yeah. So, Mr. Francis, can you kindly put your question or suggestion into the chat room? We would love to hear from you, sir.
Your sound is pretty bad.
Yeah, the sound is very, very bad. Yeah, so please do that. Okay. Please put it in the chat room and we'll be glad to hear from you. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Zenobia, Zenobia, are you there? You still want to talk?
Mr. Davis, those who want to still talk can reach out on my socials
Right.
and we can talk.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And so,
I
whilst
can share my
we,
contact if they don't mind.
yeah, sure. You had a point to share that. So, but
So
then whilst we
you
wait
can,
for, I'm coming again. While we wait for Mr. Francis' comment in the chat room, so we can pick it up. Yes, because of bad network. Please, you can go ahead and then share your social media platforms handles to all of us, so we can get in touch with you.
okay. So you can send me a connection on LinkedIn, Salsia Ocloo, on Facebook, Salsia Ocloo, on TikTok, Salsia Cares Foundation, on IG, Salsia Cares Foundation, and you can send a WhatsApp message. Please, WhatsApp message on 050-3467-331. 050-3467-331. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. And so, whilst we're waiting for the last question from Mr. Francis, I don't know if it's been typed in the chat room. But then, if not, Mr. Francis, I don't know if it is a general comment you want to make to the whole platform, or it's a special question directed to Madam Salsia. If it is, please do well to capture her social media handles and then also the number she put across, so you can still chat up with her. Or if you still need her contact, just let me know with a private chat, and I will still make it available to you. You can find her on LinkedIn, okay, Salsia Ocloo, and also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or wherever social media you find yourself. Her name is Salsia Ocloo and Salsia Care Foundation. You can also go like that particular platform as well. Madam Salsia, we want to say thank you very much for your time. And our time is fast spent. In fact, you've made the best out of today. I don't know. Okay, Sally, let me give you the opportunity to just ask what you want to ask, Sally, so you can wrap up. Sally, go ahead.
Actually, it's a question.
Right.
In case I'm outside Ghana, do I need a code for the WhatsApp, or I just 05?
Oh yeah, so you are outside Ghana, you just add +233. That is our country code. All right.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
+233. Yes.
Okay. So +23305 or +23350.
So if you add +233, you eliminate the 0.
All right. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, sir. Salsia, thank you very much for a wonderful presentation out there. I want to say, God richly bless you for your time and bless you for the opportunity you made available to all of us. All right. God richly bless you, Madam Salsia. So I want to say that the recordings to all the sessions will be made available right after we've had all the sessions. And then also, if you want to request for certification, I know you're a teacher, and then you are a caregiver, you want something to just prove that you've taken this particular webinar, feel free. It's for free. Okay, it's a free certification, but you need to give something to support the course, about 50 Ghana cedis, just to support the foundation. All right, so you can go ahead and then request a certificate after the program, and we will gladly issue that. I want to tell you that this particular program is supported by the Ghana Health Service, the Complementary Therapist Accredited Association, Mind Education, Spec Care Development Center, Bloom Development Center, Salsia Care Foundation, and NASTA and NAGES. So see you same time tomorrow, where we'll have a behavioral therapist, Madam Mina Ama Mokani, to share her insights with us for Model 5. On that note, I want to say thank you for your time, all of you. And you can still go to our social media platform, Hope Up Foundation, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. We have a lot of achievements posted there, okay? This month, we want to talk more on the achievements and also highlight what the autistic child can do. And so over the month of April, we have posted a lot of autistic people and their achievements. You can find it there and then learn more on that. We have about 39 or 29 posts on autistic people and their achievements. Please do that, and then it will help us. Well, follow us for more insights. And Madam Salsia, thank you very much for
David,
your time.
I want to personally thank everyone that made time to join from Monday, and also a big thank you to the moderated, no, is it speakers from Monday to yesterday. They actually built the blocks for me to come and lay on. So they've done well. And I thank everyone for joining. And I hope we've all learned something that we can go and teach and also practice. Thank you so much for having me, Hope Up Foundation. God bless you for this initiative.
Thank you very much, Madam Salsia. On that note, we want to say thank you very much for your time, and this meeting has officially ended. See you same time tomorrow for a wonderful discussion with a behavioral therapist. Bye-bye.